Folks, I don't know what you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes on the stage debating a guy who has the morals of an alley cat. Did you see Trump last night? My guess he set, I mean it sincerely, a new record for the most lies told in a single debate. He lied about the great economy he created. He lied about the pandemic he botched, killing millions of people. He closed businesses, he closed schools, losing their homes, people all over this country. America was flat on its back. So I told Trump that he was just one of two presidents in American history who left office with fewer jobs than he started. Herbert Hoover was the other one. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump. And then he lied about how great he was for veterans. But then I told him how he had called a veteran who had given their lives in the country in World War I and refused to go to the grave sites. He called them suckers and losers. He tried to deny it. But let me ask you, are you going to believe a 4-star Marine general, his own former Chief of Staff, John Kelly, who said he said that? Or a disgraced, defeated, and lying Donald Trump?
Looks like those calls from worried Democrats for Joe Biden to drop out of this race after his stagnant debate performance aren't going to be answered.
I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know. I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
Ironically, it was Joe Biden that needed an audience to speak in front of to get his points across. This rally that he held in North Carolina was the campaign's immediate response to the overwhelming and well-deserved criticism that he's been receiving. So now the plan is to address the obvious issues head on.
I give you my word as a Biden, I would not be running again if I didn't believe with all my heart and soul I can do this job. Because quite frankly, the stakes are too high. The stakes are too high. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat for everything America stands for.
This decision to come out firing in front of a crowd with hopes of reassuring supporters that he didn't just go home last night will no doubt keep the pressure on and possibly enhance the ridicule that he'll be battling for the next several months. So instead of hoping the New York Times and CNN fact-checkers can point out Trump's lies, Biden decided to say a couple of the things that he was unable to say the night before.
For all his lies, we learned some important truths about Donald Trump last night. We learned he's still proud of being the person who killed Roe v. Wade. We learned he's still proud about the pain and cruelties inflicted on America's women. We learned he still believes that politicians, not doctors and women, should make decisions about the woman's health. We learned that if he's elected again and the MAGA Republicans pass a national ban on abortion, he will sign it.
Solid points that he'll now have to repeat over and over again in these kinds of settings to rinse the taste of disappointment out of his voters' mouths.
We learned that Donald Trump will not respect this year's election outcome. He's still not respecting the last time out. Well, think about it. Every court in Iran ruled that it was a fair election. He's still denying it, still telling lies. 3 times Trump was asked last night by the moderators, would he respect the election results if he lost this time? 3 times he refused to answer. 3 times. Folks, Donald Trump refused to accept the results in 2020. We all saw what happened on January the 6th. It's a direct consequence of that. It was an international embarrassment. By the way, as I go to these international meetings, I know every major world leader, and I literally, because I've been around, as you might have noticed. But they asked me, did he really mean this? Was this real? It caused a constitutional crisis and international embarrassment.
These lines aren't super inventive and hard to come up with, considering Trump's blatant lies weren't also new or tough to refute, which is why some will still wonder why the president couldn't find these rebuttals based in fact for an entire night. Each campaign knows that they have supporters solidly behind them regardless of the debacle in Atlanta, so these kinds of moves are to speak to the undecided voters, or the ones that were considering jumping from the MAGA ship. So just in case they're still paying attention to post-debate conversations, the Biden camp reeled off more of the haymakers that they hoped would have landed.
How about the fact that 40 out of his 44 top advisors, including the vice president, aren't supporting him this time around? The people who know him best, 40 of them said, I will not support the man I work for this time around. It tells you a lot about the person who knows him. Look, he lied about how great he was on crime. I had to remind him that he oversaw a record increase in murder rates in 2020. On my watch, violent crime has hit a 50-year low. There's more to do with a 50-year low. And then I pointed out that the only convicted criminal on the stage last night was Donald Trump. When I thought about his 34 felony convictions, his sexual assault on a woman in a public place, his being fined $400 million for business fraud, I thought to myself, Donald Trump isn't just a convicted felon. Donald Trump is a one-man crime wave. He's got more trials coming up. Well, it's time for that. Look.
Whoops. Guess you can't get a crowd to hype up the old guy and not expect him to add 1 or 2 of the MAGA mantras that they're tired of hearing. Not really sure how they didn't expect it, but at least he realized that joining them in the lock him up chant like Trump did would feed the baseless weaponization line that they ran with. Regardless, though, no one can blame the Biden campaign for responding this way. The calls for him to step aside will still be there, along with political ads and memes circulating of the many moments he wishes would just go away. So the only move left is to move on and hope enough people move on with him.
We're still the beacon to the world. We can never give up what makes America, America. Yeah! Donald Trump is motivated by revenge and retribution. Well, revenge and retribution never build a damn thing. You and I, we Americans, are a nation of hope, optimism, and possibilities. That's what always built America. That's going to continue to build America today. The choice in this election is simple. Donald Trump will destroy our democracy. I will defend it. So, folks,